Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Marc Kasowitz, and it is my great honor tonight to present the Robert Kasowitz Defender of Jewish Civil Rights Award to Leo Terrell. This award has special meaning for me because it's named for my father, Bob Kasowitz. My dad was not famous, but he was a great man. He fought in Europe in World War II, and he re-enlisted in the Korean War. He built a scrap metal business, and with my mother, he raised a loving family. He put us all through college, and he put me through law school. My father was honest, ethical, and brave. He loved Judaism, and he loved the state of Israel. And he believed that all of us must be uncompromising in protecting our people and our country from the evils of anti-Semitism. I can't think of anybody who embodies my father's character and values better than Leo Terrell. Leo is honest and principled and courageous. He has worked long and hard as a civil rights lawyer to protect the rights and freedoms of all Americans, especially the members of minority groups who have faced historic discrimination and harassment in this country. In Los Angeles, where Leo grew up, he was the chairman of the Black Korean Alliance. He was an advisory board member of the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and he was a member of California's statewide commission against hate crimes. Leo never backed down from a fight where the rights and freedoms of minority Americans were at stake. And he always used his voice to stand up for others. He investigated misconduct in police departments, and he wrote an authoritative book on employee rights in the workplace. Most recently, Leo Terrell has put his personal life on hold in order to devote himself 100% to his biggest challenge yet, investigating the violent wave of anti-Semitism that has invaded our college campuses and protecting the rights and safety of Jewish students who have been victims of that anti-Semitism, especially in the aftermath of the horrors of the attacks in Israel on October 7th, 2023. At the request of President Trump, Leo Terrell has become senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division in the United States Department of Justice, and in that capacity, he is serving as chairman of the DOJ task force to combat anti-Semitism on college campuses. Ladies and gentlemen, I know a thing or two about fighting anti-Semitism in college campuses. My law firm was the first national firm in the United States to bring Title VI lawsuits against major universities after October 7th. We sued Harvard and NYU and the University of Pennsylvania and Columbia and Barnard. We sued them for failing to protect their Jewish students from the vile anti-Semitic attacks, intimidation, and harassment that broke out on those and other campuses after the October 7th massacres. We defeated Harvard's motion to dismiss our lawsuit, and we achieved historic settlements with Harvard, NYU, and Barnard. And those settlements include the obligation of those universities to accept the definition of anti-Semitism and accompanying examples adopted by IRA, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. And under that definition and those accompanying examples, it is anti-Semitic to call for the destruction of the state of Israel. It is anti-Semitic to say that Palestine must be free from the river to the sea. Now, even though our students, who are our clients in these cases, report that things are better on the campuses of Harvard and Barnard and NYU, that things have gotten, that they feel safer, this is only the beginning. There is so much left to do. The task that is facing Leo Terrell and the federal task force that he heads up is monumental. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. In the year 2023, roughly 80 years after the Holocaust, on October 8th, the day after the horrible murder, torture, and rape of over 1,200 Jews in Israel, and the kidnapping of more than 200 more, the most horrific day in Jewish history since the Holocaust, on that horrible day, pro-Hamas students on university campuses throughout the United States engaged in a perverse celebration. They celebrated Hamas's killing of Jews, and they harassed and intimidated and physically assaulted Jewish students at those campuses. And the universities did not lift a finger to stop it. They did nothing. They were worse than indifferent. They were worse than indifferent to the safety, health, and welfare of Jewish students on their campuses. They were more concerned with the supposed rights of free speech of the pro-Hamas rioters and demonstrators. What a disgrace. And it is that disgraceful display of anti-Semitism and the university's deliberate indifference to it. It's that poisonous anti-Semitism that is metastasizing from these college campuses into our society at all levels. It is metastasizing into our cities, and it is metastasizing throughout the countryside. Everywhere in our great country, anti-Semitism lurks. And in some place, it reigns supreme. You heard the candidate for governor of the state of New York, who I guarantee you is going to win, you heard her say that in New York City, a mayor was elected last week who praises Hamas, who refuses to condemn the river to the sea rhetoric calling for the destruction of the state of Israel and for the death of all the Jews who live there. A mayor who supports the BDS effort to isolate and strangle Israel, who proclaims proudly that he will arrest the Israeli Prime Minister if Bibi Netanyahu sets foot on New York soil. This is the historic and monumental task that Leo Terrell is taking on. And like my father, Bob Kasowitz, who stood up with courage and strength in fighting the Nazis in Europe during World War II, and stood up with courage and strength when he spoke up for Jews in Israel for the rest of his life, Leo Terrell is fighting that war with courage, with principle, with the power of the federal government under President Trump. And there is no doubt, none, that he will prevail. I am deeply honored, and I am personally moved to present the Robert Kasowitz Defender of Jewish Civil Rights Award to Leo Terrell.